In this demonstration, I'll describe the steps involved with changing the overall length to our template. In the upper right-hand corner, we have our measurements table. The second one down is the length or level of our model, and that will tell us the overall length of the template. If we move the cursor to the ischial tuberosity marker, that's how we're going to determine the overall length of the model or the length of our patient. So if we measure from the ischial tuberosity to the distal end of the patient's residual limb, that's how we can determine the length of the socket. So by measuring and looking at the length from the green line to the distal end of the model, and we look at the level at the current mark, so we have original and current. Currently it's telling us it's about 11 5/8. If we go to the distal aspect of that, now it's 11.5 inches. So if we're going to say that this patient we're working on actually has a limb length of 8 inches, we need to shorten this up. So using the changed length tool within the Omega software, this will allow us to shorten this up to 8 inches. So you'll notice above my green line there are 2 red lines on the model. What we're going to do is take the cursor, left click this little gray box, and pull these red lines down onto the model. And we want to end up about 3 inches above the distal end of this model, trying to preserve the distal portion of this residual limb. The second one, we'll left click and grab and pull this down, get it to cooperate here. Sometimes you have to grab and play with these a little bit, but we need to get this down onto the model at a point just below, I'm going to spin this around, the dimple we've created here in the scarpa area, and then this transverse channel area. The most the software will allow us to change a model is 2 inches. So I'm going to keep this again just above that area, or excuse me, below that area in the scarpa modification and that transverse channel. So we want this over a big broad portion of our model. Once I place my red marker lines, I'm going to go over to this slider bar and move it over, and you can see how that model will shorten up. Now, if I go back to the distal aspect of the ischial tuberosity marker, I can go look at that level line, and I can see that my model is now, at the current side, 9.5 inches in length. That looks great, but I still have to make it 1.5 inches shorter. So the way we do that is if we go to the left side of the screen, we can add a modification. I'm going to left click that, another window will open. I'm going to go in here and left click the change length option. This gives me some options within here as well. When this appears, I want it to open up on the medial aspect of my model. I'm going to add this modification. It will appear in this box. Sometimes it comes with a few additions here with these markers or pointers. We're going to ignore that for now, but now I have another tool within my wizard that's appeared here. I'm going to click that. It's already opened up, and now I have 2 more red lines that have appeared here. I'm going to left click this and pull it back down onto the model. I already know that I have to shorten this another 1.5 inches. I'm going to pull it down again just below the scarpa dimple and transverse arch or groove dimple on the posterior aspect of the model. And now I need to use my slider and shorten it another 1.5 inches. Oops. There we go. I'll bring my cursor to just below the distal aspect of the ischial tuberosity and look at the right side measurement box and check my measurements and see that I am now at an 8-inch length. My adjustments have been completed. I've now adjusted my template to the 8-inch length that I need. Again, measuring from the distal aspect of the ischial tuberosity. This is how you use the change length tool within the Omega software.